life, I've been a performer, a musician, beloved and celebrated by all. But I have a secret. I'm also a playground for sprites and spirits and worse. The voice that rings inside me now is darker than any that came before. Almost caused a bunch of my fans to rip each other to pieces. But you can trust me. I've got this under control. Step 1. Find out who or what is trying to take control of my mind. Step 2. Make it sorry it ever tried.
The seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you draw near.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the bloody divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
No, they had us down below, chained up in the dark. But the Reds were up to something in here. Maybe it was just the lack of food and rest playing tricks, but I swear I heard chanting and horrible moaning coming from here. But when we broke free, it was empty. He must be tougher than he looks, to have survived that fight with you and the others. The wicked ones are always the last to shuffle off to the Hall of Echoes, though, ain't they? I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints are paying the price.
The seeker throws a toxic look at the imprisoned Magister.
Hardly, she's just some deckhand. If it were up to me, I'd tie her to the main mast and use her for arrow practice. But Malady wants her alive for now. Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold, and the other one ain't in much of a talking mood. All right then, just don't make me regret it. I'll keep an eye on the Red until the cage is locked again.
A young Magister paces around the brig, fussing over Alexander's unconscious form. She leans over and applies a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot, so stow your questions. Ranley, Corker's mate, Lady Vengeance. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
The Magister falls silent, but stares at you with unwavering defiance. There's a shift in the Magister's expression, a flicker of doubt. Then...
I'm a good Magister, loyal. But Dallas, something about her has changed. She's toying with dark magic, like a common sorcerer. She used to sing to the ship. It let her control it. She had this old book of hymns and incantations. It was only ever in her hands, or else locked away in her cabin at the stern. That's all I know. away from him, sorcerer. That's the divine. All right. Don't harm him. I'll be watching.
You spoke, didn't you? Ha! I knew you would eventually.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate.
Too late for that now, Red. The bell can't be unrung.
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope. The gem sits heavily in your pouch. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells.
You spoke.
Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop.
That now, Red. The bell can't be unrung. You spoke, didn't you? Ha! I knew you would eventually.
Speak to me if you're looking for hired help. I've got good fighters of every stripe. They know how to keep their mouths shut too, as long as there's gold in it for them. So, what'll it be?
We've braved the joy, and I lust for further adventure. What say you? Shall we continue our journey together?
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any sort of proximity, but at least she's on your side, for the moment. The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice its unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. A face appears in the wood, tortured and tormented. A six-sided indentation is carved on its forehead, as if a gem or amulet had made a mark there. The face vanishes. The anguished face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you...
No entry allowed. Please use the port side door. Listen up so I don't have to repeat myself again. I am not an entry door. Fine. Answer the security question. The password is fortitude. Now, answer the security question.
The face in the door is confused for a moment.
Drat. No entry allowed through the starboard stateroom.
Hey! You're here! Pretty nice boat, eh? We got an upgrade. There's got to be another way to get it going, but we can't find a way into Dallas's room. Maybe you can see something we can't.
There's something to these doors I'm not seeing. But what?
I am summoned. Speak the password. Yes, and yes again. The word is spoken. Welcome to the stateroom.
You saw what I could not. It seems Melody is quite right about you.
Hope you found something or someone useful inside.
Just one more moment, please.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
And there. Rescued at last, am I? To whom do I owe my thanks? I'm a prisoner, of course. Do you think I'd be sitting here calmly if I was a Magister holdout? That infernal Dallas woman left me trapped here, too weak to escape. It seems I'm in your debt. Dallas took a particular interest in me and my skills. I'm an expert in healing, crafting, and more arcane practices. She kept me here to do her bidding, until you took her flagship from right under her nose, it seems. Oh, yes. And she could be a most cruel mistress, I'm sad to report.
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath, the skin is withered and discolored, as if it were magically decayed.
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and I've ruined them in the process. Oh, cast spells, tinker with relics, meddle with the laws of nature. All the sorts of things power-hungry despots love to do. She had me enchanted dead cat over there, so it would seem alive.
He clicks the gauntlet into place around his withered forearm, his eyes on you the whole time.
But that damn contraption that she used on me seems to have fogged my memory. The rest is a blur. No! Necromancy is an unsavory practice, not something to be trifled with lightly. This is but a cunning illusion of my own creation, nothing more.
His face abruptly creases into a smile.
But come now, enough of Dallas and dead cats. You've taken this ship and granted my freedom. This is a happy moment. I'm afraid I cannot tell you what I do not remember. Could you pass me that copper wire just there?
An unseen force yanks the copper out of your grasp. Tarquin catches it and offers you a thin smile.
Butterfingers? I'm afraid I truly can't remember anything. Now, unless there's something else you want, I need to get back to my work. I'm doing my utmost to be civil to you, under rather trying circumstances. Why must you push me like this? An active imagination. Overheated, even. Perhaps you should let this matter rest. Your blood is up after your adventures, it seems. You wouldn't want to do anything rash.
Anyone who faced enslavement deserves our sympathy, not our blades. Leave him.
He takes your hand in his gauntlet-clad fist and shakes it. There's a lot more power in his grip than his slender frame would suggest.
Call me Tarquin, and consider me at your service. I must admit, despite what she did to me, I can't help but admire her a little. The woman is unwavering. She will break before she bends. So if you should cross paths again, be sure to leave her broken. You will not get another chance. No! This piece is far beyond what those wretches could muster. This is something of my own design, to meet my own requirements. The Magisters left me weakened, but this will help give me the strength to carry on my work. We're barely acquainted. Why should I tell you anything personal? The waters run deeper than I would have anticipated. My business remains my own for now. But perhaps we shall talk again at some point. There's likely not a soul aboard this ship without secrets they'd rather keep hidden. Why should I face more scrutiny than the rest?
He proffers out his hands with a diplomatic smile.
You do me a disservice. These are the hands of a craftsman, a healer. All I seek is progress and enlightenment.
What script is this? Whatever it is, it appears to be written in verse.
We have to find a way to get this ship moving. We can't let the Magisters catch up with us. We're too weak to fight them again.
Let's team up, you and me. What do you say? Now, onward!
I must say, you may not be an eternal, but you are certainly not as temporary as many of your fellows. You handled yourself well. Personally, I am just glad that I do not have to walk back to Reaper's Coast. Wind travel may be primitive, but it is at least efficient. If only. Alas, I do not have time for isolation. If you must know, there is an excavation site at the Black Pits on Reaper's Coast. I go to seek answers. The only treasure worth digging for. Knowledge. I was investigating a site where several artifacts of my people have been found. Some were even intact. Alas, I was not the only one there. Those red-robed idiots were scurrying about too, trampling precious clues under their ignorant boots. They caught me when I failed to correctly respond to their questions, and dragged me here. Still, it's good to be on the move again. They simply asked me what I was doing there, and I simply told them to be gone from my lands. I may have used the phrase pathetic mortals. Come to think of it, I may have used it several times. Damn fools. The faster we leave them behind, the happier I shall be. Ah, yes. I have heard that your people enjoy various fermented fruits and vegetables. It often seemed to be involved in... Pardon? Was that an invitation? Were you trying to initiate some form of mating ritual? Oh, my pardons. I fear I'm rather unaccustomed to your... customs. Although perhaps you would be interested in a companion of another sort. I need to travel to the Black Pits oil field, near Reaper's Coast. But my attempts at staying under the cover have not gone well to date. Given how well you handled yourself in Fort Joy, I rather think you could be of use. And I am so, how about it? I travel with you and aid you in your various chores and tasks, while you help me to remain incognito. Very well. Let's be off.
Were those guards or victims?
Both, I fear. Another pyramid!
Void Slayer, Worm Killer, Godwoken. You have many names. Let's add ship's captain to the list once we get this thing moving, shall we? I won't let the Fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallas, no better than Alexander, if I just tossed their remains into the sea. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. All this blood. Children ripped from families. Seekers ripped from me. He's down there now, guarded like some precious jewel, rather than leashed and flogged like the dog he is. Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. That was before we found the others. Other Godwoken. When Lucian died, we waited, and waited some more. Alexander never rose to divinity. Then we started to find more like him. We weren't the only ones who noticed either. Not every Godwoken we found was alive. And so the Seekers were born. We found Godwoken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. I was naive. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead. She's not exactly a Seeker. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siva says, and I don't doubt it. I don't know how Siva came to know her, but Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the best, really. Meister Siva's there too. My leader. Our leader. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart.
Gareth pauses, then shakes his head.
A mistake was made. That's all I have to say on the matter. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. She'll reveal them to you. Show you how to manipulate them. Keep Lucian close, Godwoken.
Getting it done, come hell or high water. Likely both, eh?
May the Fallen rest easy in the Hall of Echoes.
Gareth stumbles backwards. His words pierce you like daggers.
Whatever's on that page is none of your concern. Let the dead rest. If only you were as concerned with getting this ship moving as you are with the past, we might be in Driftwood by now.
Don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive. I know what's at stake, but I have to warn you. This ship is alive and dangerous.
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby. Something is nestled within it. Fragments of scorched bone.
That was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him, without warning. He burned, like he was made of parchment. Nothing. The ship is live wood, that much is clear. but I couldn't communicate with it. The Magisters must have done something, warped it somehow. I just don't know what.
Her eyes flick over to the smouldering ashes once again, her head held at a despondent angle.
Thank you. We were held captive together on this ship. He kept my spirits up. Now he's dead.
She sighs.
I know. Just be careful.
Before you is a towering figurehead carved in the likeness of a dragon. It looms over the bow, its fangs bared at the open sea. The deck beneath you groans and trembles, like the ship itself is awaking from a slumber. A deep sigh emerges, unmistakably the sound of a living being.
You are not the witch. You are not Dallas. You sang the song. Now you must decide my fate. Are you to be my new mistress?
We have to put this island behind us.
Ask. I am here to serve in all ways.
The bow of the ship creaks downwards on the swell of the ocean. In the breeze above you, the faintest hint of what might have been a melancholy sigh.
Once, I was an elf. I passed away and was reborn as an ancestor tree. In a beautiful forest surrounded by kin of both flesh and root. But that time has passed. I saw that forest reduced to a dead place. Then I was taken away. My memories were lost, like the leaves from my branches.
The sails overhead billow outwards suddenly. The sun is blocked, momentarily casting the dragon figurehead into shadow.
Magisters, they razed sacred elven lands and uprooted ancestor trees from the earth. I was one of them. They tore me apart and turned me into this monstrosity.
The creaking of the ship beneath you ceases, as if it were awaiting your decision with bated breath.
You are kind, but I can never be free again. Not truly. I am a vessel and must be guided. Let me take you wherever you wish. We can depart as soon as you are ready.
The ship's awake. Good. Is she ready to sail? Dying to hear them.
We have to make good on our escape.
Meister Siva is one of a rare breed. She'd do anything in the name of a cause, and her cause happens to be you. She's desperate to meet a living Godwoken. She'll be exceedingly pleased we're en route. We'd better not leave her waiting. She's a bit particular.
There is no time to spare.
She's the founder of these Seekers, and she's powerful. That means something when I say it. Your kind can reach astounding heights. Meister Siva can help you do just that.
We have to make
A place called Driftwood, host to putrid fish, putrid dwarves, and Meister Siva herself. You'll probably find it quite comfortable.
We have to put this island behind us. There is no time to spare. You did it. You spoke to it.
Blessings to you, sorcerer. Now we can escape this place.
Ah, there you are. High time to stop gallivanting and resume our journey.
Well, what have we here? The ship's alive, isn't she?
A slow, toothless smile stretches across her face.
To driftwood, then. It most certainly is. Forward!
With the sun on their backs and the wind in their sails, the God-woken watched Fort Joy shrink behind them. But their capture of the Lady Vengeance had not gone unnoticed.
I respect your mettle, sorcerers. You steal my ship, kill my bishop and ally with demons, but you have no idea what you're really dealing with.